On October the 15th, 2017, early federal legislative elections will take place in Austria. The voters will elect the 183 deputies of the National Council, which is the lower and directly elected and by far the more powerful of the two houses of the Austrian federal parliament. Currently, Austria has a so-called grand coalition of the traditional two main parties, the Social Democrats and the Austrian People's Party, which is considered a center-right and Christian democratic political party. Currently, they hold 102 seats out of 183 in the National Council. They are challenged from the populist and Eurosceptic right by the Freedom Party of Austria, which currently holds 38 seats. According to the recent opinion polls, the Austrian People's Party is expected to win about 33% of the vote. The Social Democrats would win between 22 and 25%. The Freedom Party would get between 23 and 24%. The Greens would receive between 4 and 7%. The Liberal NEOS Party would receive between 5 and 6%, as would receive Peter Pilzi's list. Or Liste Peter Pilz. It's a left-wing populist party that currently holds 4 deputies out of 183 in the Austrian National Council. Then there's the Guilt coalition or party, My Vote Counts, Meine Stimme Gilt, anti-establishment political party that currently holds no seats in the Austrian federal parliament, not even in the National Council. The Federal Council has currently only 61 seats. It is indirectly elected by the 9 state legislatures of Austria, and traditionally only the 3 main parties have held seats there. Anyway, the current Austrian federal chancellor or prime minister comes from the Social Democratic Party, Mr. Christian Kern. Already the 2016 presidential elections in Austria showed that the two traditional main parties, have clearly lost their popularity for the first time in the history of Austrian direct presidential elections. Neither the Social Democratic candidate nor the People's Party or Christian Democratic candidate advanced to the second round of voting. Instead, the former leader of the Austrian Green Alternative Party, Mr. Alexander van der Bellen, was elected in a controversial third round because it was alleged by the leaders of the Austrian Freedom Party that there had been irregularities in the original runoff vote, which Mr. van der Bellen had very narrowly won over Mr. Norbert Hofer, who was the Freedom Party's presidential candidate. The extra runoff vote was held in December 2016 and was clearly won by Mr. van der Bellen, who took office as the new Austrian federal president in January 2017. In Austria, the federal president formally appoints the federal chancellor, and although the constitution does not oblige the president from seeking parliamentary approval for a new federal chancellor, in practice he is likely to appoint only a federal chancellor who probably will be supported by a majority of the National Council's deputies. So according to the latest opinion polls, uh, the mathematically easiest coalitions would be either a continuation of the current grand coalition, except that the um, People's Party would become the dominant party, or then um, a return to the 2000 uh, to 2007 uh, black coalition of sorts between the People's Party and the Freedom Party, which also back then, well, for the most part, for most of those years, was dominated by the Freedom Party under former Federal Chancellor Wolfgang Schüssel.